All right, everybody, welcome to volleyball. Welcome to Owen-Withee in our match against Neillsville. According to conference standings, Neillsville is 5-1. Owen-Withee is 3-3. The next game for both teams is going to be the crossover. And it looks to be that both these teams will be playing on Tuesday night. It's just a matter of what happens tonight. Depends on the standings for the crossover on Tuesday. Owen-Withee gets the first serve tonight. Raina Arndt to start it off. And I apologize right away for the Neillsville crowd. I will get names as quickly as I can and learn them. First volley goes out against Neillsville. Point for Owen-Withee. 1-0 to start. Raina Arndt again back. That is a good one from Paige Voigt. Point for Neillsville. I think that's Delaney Rochester serving. Erickson with the spike. Goes out. Another point for Neillsville. 2-1 here in the first set. That just goes over the net, and Owen-Withee is able to recover it. Nice job for them. Erickson pushing over. Little scramble from Owen-Withee's side to get it over, but they get it over there. Voigt. Looks like we have a double hit called on Neillsville. Point for Owen-Withee. 2-2 now. Alyssa Grasky back to serve. And also for my Neillsville fans, if I mispronounce names, I'm also sorry for that. Owen-Withee trying to recover off the ceiling, cannot get it back to the net. Point to Neillsville, 3-2. Looks like Maggie Hosier serving up here. Arndt setting up Erickson. Goes right past the block and in for a score. 3-3. Tied up again. Sub for Owen-Withee and a sub for Neillsville. Katie Mayer comes in for Maggie Hosier. And Sydney Halita comes in for Autumn Bender. Katie Erickson to serve for Blackhawks. Nice dig from Neillsville, but gets tapped down by Owen-Withee. Point for them, 4-3. We're going to have a conference here. I guess there's a question of if she went over the net to make that downward play. Seems like no change here. Talking to the coach, they're having some fun. Coach is having fun with the official. We're all good. 4-3 Owen. Katie Erickson serve. Neillsville trying to save it, but it goes down. 5-3 now Owen. Erickson again to serve. Amelia Trunkel's spike gets blocked down by Owen-Withee. Point for them, 6-3 now. Erickson again to serve. Nice save there from Owen, getting it over again. Trunkel again. Misses the attack. 7-3 now for the Blackhawks. Erickson again back to serve. Lots of power from Voigt there. Gets blocked. A little touch over from Owen back to Neillsville's side. Trunkle gets to the floor on Owen-Withee side. There's side out and point for Neillsville. 4-7. Neillsville trying to come back. Libero comes out for Neillsville, and we have, I believe that's Paige Voigt. Yes. Making the serve for Neillsville. Grasky. Grasky's receive goes a little awry, and Kendall Weiler trying to save but does not get it. 5-7 now Neillsville. Voigt again to serve. Halita over. For is McFarland. Gotta learn my names as I go. From the side, Trunkle pushes it out of bounds. Point for Owen. 8-5 now, with freshman Kendall Weiler back to serve. Trunkle gets a ball over. Raina Arndt's block misses just to the side, and it goes off of her and out. 6-8. Neillsville only 2 points behind. Push over by Raina Arndt. Goes out of bounds. Point for Neillsville. 7-8 now. Shrinking the lead. I believe that's Kylie Boyer. I think that's number 8 back there. Weiler to Halita. Halita gets blocked, but it goes off the side of McFarland. Point for Owen. 9-7 now for the Blackhawks. Dakota Shelton back to serve. Setting up Trunkle on the side. Weiler pushes over to Grasky, who gets it comfortably over. Trunkle. And I had a feeling of that too. That did not get blocked. That just hit the net and came back. Point for Owen. 10-7 now for the Blackhawks. Dakota Shelton again to serve. Her serve goes out of bounds, off the back. 8-10 Neillsville. Maggie Hosier comes back in for Katie Mayer. And Trunkle serves. Grasky over. And gets the point. Nice kill from Melissa Grasky. 11-8 now for the Blackhawks. Autumn Bender coming in for Sydney Halita. And Bender back to serve. It's Hosier in. Maggie Hosier gets it in just in the back end of the court. 9-11 now. Our libero, Kaylee Moore, is back to serve. Weiler receives. Erickson over to Grasky. Over. A nice little push from Rochester to get the point for Neillsville. 10-11 now. Blackhawks clinging to a 1-point lead in the first set here. Moore to serve again. Deep, but in. Erickson just tips over the net. Rochester setting up Paige Voigt. And she gets the point. Ties it up at 11. It goes to 11. Here we go. More serve. Bender receives. Arndt tries to bring it forward. Erickson over. Just barely. Rochester setting up Voigt. Bender to Weiler to Grasky. Paige Voigt gets a little tip on it, but Owen gets the point. 12-11. Blackhawks return to the top of the order. Raina Arndt to serve. Rochester to Hosier. Arndt to Weiler to Erickson. Going to the way back and out. Point Neillsville 12-12. Top of the order, Delaney Rochester back to serve. Off of Shelton. Weiler trying to save. Bender trying to get it all the way forward and does. Rochester setting up Voigt. And with a few tips, it goes out of bounds. So point Neillsville, 13-12. I believe that's the first lead for Neillsville. Halfway through the set, halfway the first set. Rochester again. Bender receives. Arndt sets up. Erickson has to back up to get it. Doesn't go over the net. 14-12 now Neillsville. Delaney Rochester back again. Bender receives. Arndt setting up. Grasky goes over. Moore sets it up. Nice play from Neillsville off of an Owen-Withee hand. 15-12. And the Blackhawks call a timeout. We're going to do the same. We'll be back with you in just a little while. Out here. We are 15-12 Neillsville. Rochester still serving here. Shelton bringing it up. Erickson turns to get it over. Nice job there. Rochester setting up. Voigt gets a big hit into Erickson and into her own court. 16-12 for Neillsville. Rochester with a hot serve so far here. It's a good 7 points in a row, making that 8 now. 17-12 Neillsville. Blackhawks looking for a side out quick here. Bender, Weiler, Shelton does a carry to try and get it somewhere, but doesn't get anywhere. 18-12 Neillsville. Shelton, Arndt from long distance. That was out of bounds beyond the pole there. 19-12 now Neillsville. Erickson, Grasky, Erickson over. More Rochester. And from the far side, I need to catch a number there. That is out. Point goes to Neillsville. 20-12 now. That was not. Bender receives. And we have a double hit called on Weiler. 21-12 for the Warriors. Rochester again on a roll here. Bender to Grasky to Erickson. Nice kill from Erickson. A lot of power behind that one. 13-21. Grasky's got a lot of ground to make up here if the Blackhawks are going to get in this first set. And that was short-lived. 22-13 for Neillsville now. Maggie Hosier looking to finish the set. Bender receives. Arndt over to Shelton. And that falls on Neillsville's side. Very close to the net. 14-22 for Neillsville's lead. Halita checks in for Bender on the Blackhawk side. And Katie Meyer checks in for Hosier on Neillsville side. Halida's gets blocked by Voigt. Little touch over from. Oh, that's fun. Rolling along the net, always entertaining. Arndt over to the Shelton, over. Rochester setting up. Not sure who that is. A nice block from Paige Voigt. 23-14. I believe the name was escaping was Kylie Boyer earlier. Hold on. All right. Voigt serving. Halida off the ceiling. Neillsville recovers, pushes it over. Arndt setting up Shelton. And that goes out. Set point for Neillsville, 24-14. Paige Voigt looking to close out this set. That's over. And Trunkle spike goes into the net. 15-24, still set point. Kendall Weidel looking to catch back up here. He's got a lot of ground to make up. Reyna just bumping over. Rochester setting up. Shelton and Halida get it over. Trunkle. Grasky to Arndt. We have a net violation on Neillsville. Point going to Owen-Withee. 16-24. Neillsville still at set point. A lot of sloppy play in that last volley. Hopefully they can recover all that. Voigt receiving. Rochester setting up Trunkle over. Off the block. Oh, Blackhawks save it very nicely and get the point. 17-24, still in this first set. Again, Weiler looking to keep it going. Nice power from Boyer. Shelton over, heading toward the back corner. Trunkle gets blocked. Weiler, Arndt setting up Shelton. And we get called for a double hit, and that'll take the set for Neillsville. First set goes to Neillsville, 25-17. We'll take intermission here between sets, and we'll be back with you in just a little while. Back with you after the break. Neillsville takes the first set, 17-25. And we're about to start the second set here. Neillsville will have the first serve. Once we take care of all the preset festivities here. And we are ready to go. Rochester with the first serve. Arndt receives. Weiler to Erickson over. Rochester setting up Voigt. Gets blocked by Sydney Halita. First point to Owen-Withee. Kendall Weiler back to serve for the Blackhawks. Rochester setting up Hosier. Weiler receives. Arndt sets up Shelton. And it lands in Neillsville's court. 2-0 Blackhawks. Kendall Weiler back again. Voigt with a spike over. Weiler cannot receive it. Goes out of bounds on Neillsville's side. Point for Neillsville, 1-2. With Maggie Hosier back to serve. Arndt receives. Weiler setting up Arndt. Just out of bounds. Point for Neillsville, 2-2. Hosier back to serve again. Grasky, Weiler, Halita over. Rochester setting up Trunkle. Almost hit the ceiling there. Shelton over. Diving save to get that one up. Boyer gets a nice spike. Neillsville runs to get that one. Trunkle pushes over with a set. Weiler, Arndt, Halita. Hosier saves. Rochester Voigt with a big spike and in. Nice volley back and forth. Neillsville gets the point. 3-2. Here in the second set. Hosier serves. Erickson receives. Weiler to Arndt. Over. Nice dig by Moore, but nobody can receive it from there. 3-3. And we got Katie Mayer coming in for Maggie Hosier. Back to serve is Dakota Shelton. 3-3. Nice little tip from the Blackhawks. Rochester pushes over. Weiler, Arndt, Grasky over. And heads out of bounds. Point for Neillsville, 4-3. Paige Voigt back to serve. Erickson receives off the ceiling. Weiler back to Erickson, pushes over with a spike. Voigt. And eventually, McFarland gets it over. Grasky back over to Neillsville's side. Owen-Withee gets the point. 4-4 now. And Autumn Bender checks in for Sydney Halita and heads back to serve. Bender serve. Receive from Mayer. A nice play over from Neillsville to get the point. 5-4. Nice back and forth set so far. And we have Kylie Boyer. Just skims the net. Raina Arndt tries to go over. Goes up to the basketball hoops and called out 6-4 for Neillsville. Bender, Arndt pushes over. Setting up McFarland with a huge spike. Nice point for Neillsville, 7-4. Boyer back again. Shelton off the side of her arm. We get an ace for Boyer. 8-4. Shelton goes right over to Neillsville's side. Trunkle over. Setting up Erickson. Gets blocked. Trunkle gets blocked. Comes back to her. Trunkle again with a nice little floater into the center of Blackhawk court. Point for Neillsville, 9-4. Weiler, Arndt, Erickson from the side. Rochester setting up McFarland, who just bumps over. Bender, Weiler, Erickson over. Trunkle on the side. Floats one over. Weiler setting up Grasky off the block. Neillsville recovers. McFarland just bumps over. Weiler, Bender, a little confusion on Blackhawk side. They recover okay. Rochester setting up Trunkle. Big spike gets blocked. Trunkle bumps over. Bender receives. Weiler setting up Erickson over. And it goes in. Another great volley between the two teams. Ends up 5-9. Owen-Withee getting the point. Raina Arndt to serve. Here we go. Nice ace from Raina Arndt, 6-9. Great dig to try and get that up, but just couldn't get up off the ground. Arndt again. Trunkle from the opposite side. And Bender cannot receive it high enough. 10-6 now, Neillsville. Maggie Hosier checks in for Katie Mayer. And we have Amelia Trunkle back to serve for the Warriors. That's in right on the line. Nice ace for Trunkle. I was worried that was going out too. But just made it in. Trunkle. Shelton receives. Arndt over to Weiler over. Hosier gets it in. That back line is a good thing for the Warriors tonight so far. 12-6. Neillsville's doubled up Owen-Withee. Here in the second set, Trunkle serving again. Another deep one. Shelton, Erickson, Weiler over. And we're going to get called for illegal touch there. Almost looked like she was slam dunking the ball instead of setting the ball. We have Grasky back to serve for the Blackhawks. Rochester setting up McFarland. Shelton from the Blackhawks. Gets blocked, but into the referee. Point goes to Owen-Withee. 8-12. Grasky back again to serve. Rochester setting up McFarland. That's out. Point Owen-Withee, 9-12. Grasky working on cutting down the lead. Rochester sets up Hosier on the left side. Goes out. 10-12. Owen-Withee cutting down the lead. Grasky to serve. That receive goes into the ref, becomes an ace for Grasky, 11-12. Neillsville calls a timeout. We'll take a timeout as well. We'll be back with you in just a minute. Back with you after the timeout. 11-12. Owen-Withee trying to get back into the second set. We have Grasky back to serve again for the Blackhawks. She's been on a roll here, just over the net. Nice save from the Warriors. Trunkle over. Erickson returning. And that goes out. Point for Neillsville. 13-11. And their libero, Callie Moore, back to serve. Grasky receives, little close. And there was no touch from the Warriors on that one. Point goes to Neillsville. 14-11. Moore back to serve again. Bender receives. Erickson to Shelton over. Voigt with a nice kill there. 15-11. Moore back again to serve. 15-11 Neillsville in the second set. Grasky receives. Arndt to Shelton over. Rochester setting up Hosier over. Arndt saves it. Weiler sets up Erickson over. Rochester pushes over. Shelton. Arndt just too far. Voigt with a spike trying to get it. Owen-Withee frantically getting it back over. Voigt with a spike. Arndt save it with a dig. Weiler pushes over. Setting up Hosier. Gets blocked. Nearly a big save again from Raina Arndt, but point goes to Neillsville. 16-11. Another great volley between these two teams. Moore. Bender receives. Arndt setting up. Shelton taps over. Moore, Rochester, Hosier gets blocked over. Bender, Arndt, Erickson getting close to the net. Gets a big block from Paige Voigt. 17-11 now for Neillsville. Five-point series now for Neillsville, just over the net for Moore. Arndt sets up Erickson on the far side. That goes out of bounds just barely. Point for Neillsville. 18-11. Owen-Withee calls timeout. We'll do the same. We'll be back with you in just a minute. We're back with you. Callie Moore on a roll here for Neillsville. 18-11. More serve. Gets dug up by Grasky. A little frantic from Neillsville getting it back over. Bender. Arndt setting up Erickson. Gets blocked by Voigt, and that goes out. Point Owen-Withee, 12-18. And Sydney Helita checks in for Autumn Bender. Katie Erickson back to serve. 12-18 again, second set. Rochester setting up Voigt with a lot of power. Helita with a big block. Becomes 13-18. Erickson again back to serve. Rochester setting up Hosier. That goes out. A little too much power from Maggie Hosier. 14-18. Erickson again to serve. A little frantic from Neillsville, but they end up pulling it off with Paige Voigt getting the point. 19-14. Delaney Rochester back to serve for Neillsville. She had a great series in the first set serving. See how she does here. Dakota Shelton over. Hosier goes straight into the net with that spike. 15-19. And we have freshman Kendall Weiler back to serve. That looked like it was going in. Good choice to save that one. Voigt bumps over. Erickson. Weiler aren't over. Moore saves. Rochester pushes. Sydney Halita gets it back. Voigt pushes back over. After a quick series at the net, point goes to Neillsville. After Voigt's touch. 20-15. Maggie Hosier back to serve. Grasky. Weiler gets it up off the ground. Just misses going over the net. 21-15 for Neillsville. Hosier again. Erickson almost makes a basket with that. 22-15 ace for Hosier. Just skims the net again. Aren't getting it over. Nice dig for Moore. Rochester setting up Trunkle over. Weiler. Aren't setting up Shelton. Nice hit from Hosier. Trunkle bumps it over. Aren't setting up Shelton again. And we have a net violation officially from Neillsville. Point goes to Owen-Withee. 16-22. And Katie Mayer checks in for Maggie Hosier. Dakota Shelton back to serve for the Blackhawks. That one goes in the net. 23-16 for Neillsville. Lainey Horn checking in for Paige Voigt. And Horn will go back to serve. Erickson, Weiler, Grasky over. And that is right in. Point for the Blackhawks. 17-23. Autumn Bender checks in for Sydney Halita and will head back to serve. Warriors looking to wrap up the second set here. Miscommunication on Neillsville's part. Gives a point to Owen-Withee. 18-23. Bender again back to serve. Nice dig for Moore to get that up. And Warriors are forced to bump it over. Erickson gets blocked over by McFarland. And quick back and forth. Grasky looking to get it in. Amazing work from Neillsville. That just misses the ceiling. Rochester setting up McFarland. Aren't saves. Aren't looking to finish it. Rochester. Nice little push over from Trunkle. Aren't setting up Erickson. Blocked and out. Owen-Withee gets another point. 19-23. Making it a good fight here in the second set. Bender. Moore with a nice dig up. And we have a double hit called on Rochester. And Neillsville will call a timeout. It's 20-23 in the second set. We'll be back with you in just a minute. Back after the timeout. Owen-Withee trying to get back in this one. It's 20-23. Autumn Bender back to serve. Nice touch over from Grasky. And a Boyer pushes over. Weiler sets up Grasky. More saves. Rochester over to Trunkle off the block. Arndt pushes over. Rochester setting up McFarland. Grasky, Weiler to Grasky again. Over. Rochester setting up Boyer. Over Grasky. Weiler, Grasky. Moore to Rochester to Trunkle over. Gets blocked. Weiler saves. Arndt up. Weiler gets it into the floor. 24-20. Neillsville is on set point here with Kylie Boyer back to serve. Can she finish the set? Bender, Arndt, Erickson over. More Rochester. Trunkle's going to bump over. Bender, Weiler. Grasky has to adjust a little. Funny movement. Trunkle gets a spike out of it. And the dive over the net ends the set. Neillsville will get it. 25-20. We'll take an intermission and be back with you for the third set in just a little while. About to start the third set here. And apparently I need to get caught up on my scoring. Neillsville winning 2-0. Kendall Weiler serving for the Blackhawks. Hosier with a strong spike over. Erickson setting up Shelton. Rochester to Voigt. Nice spike off the hand of Weiler. Point Neillsville 1-0. Rochester served to Erickson. Polides setting up Weiler. And Boyer's bump goes over the net and out. Point for Owen-Withee. 1-1 now, third set. Dakota Shelton back to serve. Maggie Hosier. Weiler to Arndt. Moore, Rochester, Voigt. And it's in. Point Neillsville, 2-1. And Hosier back to serve. Grasky receives. Grasky gets the spike. And we get a net violation on Neillsville. Point for Owen-Withee. 2-2 now. Autumn Bender checking in for Sydney Halida. She'll head back to serve. Lainey Horn checking in for Voigt. And Katie Mayer checking in for Maggie Hosier for the Warriors. Bender serve. Moore, Rochester, Trunkle with good power. Erickson hoping it would go over the net, but came on her side. 3-2 for Neillsville. Lainey Horn back to serve for Neillsville. Shelton, Arndt, and Grasky. Rochester to Trunkle over. Bender, Weiler gets called for a double hit. Not the first time that's been called on her tonight. 4-2. Lainey Horn serving off of Bender. Arndt saves. Bender pushes over. Nice dig out. McFarland with a nice spike. Little miscommunication for the Blackhawks, but it ends up with a point for them. I'm sure they will take it. Raina Arndt back to serve. 3-4. And Kylie Boyer with a really nice spike into the block that goes onto the Blackhawks side. 5-3. And Boyer back to serve. Erickson with a big spike out of bounds. Point for Neillsville, 6-3 now. Boyer again back to serve. Bender, Arndt, Grasky from the side. McFarland from the center gets blocked by Erickson. Lots of big save going on thanks to Katie Boyer. Or excuse me, Kylie Boyer. I knew I mixed that up when I said it. Off of Katie Meyer and out. Point for Owen-Withee, 6-4. Alyssa Grasky serving. More Rochester Trunkle from the right side. Erickson, Arndt, Shelton pushes over. Rochester floating in. McFarland, Rochester, McFarland. Net violation, Owen-Withee. Point goes to Neillsville. Tyler Uptergrove checks in for Katie Mayer. It's 7-4, Neillsville. Trunkle serve. Returned eventually by Kendall Weiler. Uptergrove with her first big hit. Erickson. Miscommunication. They are lucky to get bumped over to the Blackhawk side. Rochester setting up. Uptergrove falls on Owen-Withee's side. Point Neillsville, 8-4. Again, third set. Looks like a little miscommunication for a short while on the Warrior side. Looks like they got it back. Arndt just pushes over. Setting up McFarland. Poor touch from Alyssa Grasky. 9-4. And Owen-Withee calls for a timeout. We'll also take a timeout. We'll be back with you in just a bit. Back with you after the timeout. It is 9-4 Neillsville. Here in the third set. Amelia Trunkle back to serve again. Bender. Arndt Erickson gets blocked. And it falls on the Warrior side. 5-9. Bender checks out. Halita checks in. And we have Katie Erickson back to serve for the Blackhawks. Again, 5-9, third set. Rochester setting up McFarland. Big spike from Avery McFarland. Goes 10-5 now for Neillsville. Our libero, Kaylee Moore, back to serve for the Warriors. Grasky. Weiler over to Halita. Little floater over. Up to Grove. Gets over. Rochester with a spike. Little franticness from the Blackhawk side. Proves to be a point for the Warriors after a double hit. Moore back to serve again. Moore goes into the net. 6-11. Kendall Weiler back to serve for the Blackhawks. Rochester setting up to Grove. Her spike goes out of bounds. 7-11. Kendall Weiler back to serve. That goes out after no touch. It's 12-7. Kylie Ham checks in for Kylie Boyer. Rochester serving. Erickson. Weiler, Halita. Nice save from Moore. Rochester setting up to Grove. Another miscommunication on Owen-Withee side. 13-7. Rochester back to serve again. Erickson gets called for bad touch there. 14-7. Neillsville doubling up Owen-Withee again. Rochester serving. Grasky. Weiler. Arndt over. And Owen-Withee gets a point. 8-14 now. We have McKenna Dable checking in for Amelia Trunkle. Apologize if I mispronounced the name. Shelton serving. Rochester setting up to Grove. Grasky over and just out of bounds. 15-8 now. Up to Grove, back to serve. Jump serve. Shelton. Weiler and Halita into the net. Just feels like the Blackhawks are disintegrating here. Hopefully they can get that back. Up to Grove, back to serve. Shelton, Weiler, Erickson over. Touch from Moore, up to Grove, and bump over from Dable. Up to Grove, Rochester, and Ham. Arndt sets up Grasky. And we get a net violation on Owen-Withee. Or excuse me, a net violation on the Warriors. My apologies. Point for Owen-Withee, 9-16 now. Katie Mayer checks in for Updegrove. And Bender checks in for Halita. And Bender will head back to serve for the Blackhawks. 9-16. Rochester sets up Dable, goes out of bounds with a spike. Point for Owen-Withee, 10-16. Bender back to serve again. Rochester setting up. Laney Horn gets blocked, and that goes out of bounds. 17-10 for the Warriors. And Horn back to serve. Bender receives. Arndt to Erickson. Outstanding and somewhat lucky touch from Katie Mayer to get the point. 18-10 Neillsville. Horn serve goes in the net. 11-18. Raina Arndt back to serve for the Blackhawks. Dable over. Erickson tries to come back. We do see a touch called. Dable again. Bender, Arndt, Erickson. Nice placement from Erickson to get the point. Just out of reach of Moore. 12-18. Blackhawks trying to get back into it. Arndt serve. Moore receives. Rochester setting up. Whoa, careful there. Sorry, Grasky getting blocked a little bit. Rochester tips over. Arndt saves. Erickson to Grasky. Gotta learn all our new names here. McFarland. Bender, Arndt, and Grasky missed touches. Point Neillsville. 19-12. Kylie Ham back to serve. That was a name I couldn't remember earlier. Nearly slipped on the last set. Ham serve goes out. 13-19. Sub in. We have Kyra Rakovic checking in for Kylie Ham. Grasky serve. And Dable gets lucky with the net there. Touches and goes over. 20-13. Got a sub here. I have no idea who 13 is. So my apologies. I don't have that number on my roster here. That serve goes out of bounds from Dable. Halita checks in for Bender. Katie Erickson to serve for the Blackhawks. Now 14-20. Erickson over. Rochester to unknown player. I'm sorry, number 13. I don't know who you are. But you get a point off of it. 21-14. Callie Moore back to serve for the Warriors. Ace for Moore, 22-14. Moore serving off the top of the net and back. That'll be a point for the Blackhawks. 15-22. Kendall Weiler back to serve. Moore from the back row goes out of bounds. 16-22. Kendall Weiler back to serve again for the Blackhawks. That's Laney Horn with the score there, 23-16. And we have a quick sub in. Kylie Ham coming in for Kira Rakovic. Delaney Rochester back to serve for the Warriors. Nice dig up from Grasky. Weiler over. Nice dig from Moore. And 13 pushes over. I'm sorry, I don't know your name yet. Shelton gets over toward the side. Rochester setting up 13 off the block. Shelton and point for Neillsville. From the net violation, it is match point for Neillsville, 24-16. Can Rochester finish the match? Weiler pushes over and gets a very much needed point. All right, it's up to Dakota Shelton to get the Blackhawks back in this. Otherwise, it's match for the Warriors. Moore, Rochester, Horn. And they call it out. Judge calls it out. Point Owen-Withee, 18-24. Still match point for the Warriors. Shelton serves. A little bit of miscommunication. Laney Horn pushes over. Little franticness from Owen-Withee. Gets it back over. Rochester sets up Horn. Big block from Halida. Moore. And 13 pushes over. Weiler, Arndt, Grasky on the left side. Gets blocked. And we got a net violation. A net violation on Neillsville, 19-14. We're still not over here. Paige Voigt checking in for Laney Horn. Shelton trying to finish this one off. Setting up. Number 13, who goes in the net. 20-24. Blackhawks still in this one. Shelton. Rochester sets up. Kylie Hamill goes out of bounds. 21-24. Blackhawks still striving. Blackhawks still striving. Shelton serve. Moore. Rochester. And Paige Voigt finishes the match for Neillsville. Dig for a cause goes Neillsville's way. Warriors take the match 3-0, 17-25, 20-25, and 21-25. Congratulations to the Warriors on their win. Again, next matches for both these teams is the crossover. Looks to be, unless something goes incredibly wrong for Columbus Catholic, looks like Neillsville will be in second place in the conference. And we'll take on whoever is second place in the west side of the Clover Belt. At the moment, it looks to be Osseo Fairchild. And with the loss here for Owen-Withee, depending on Greenwood's match, they look to be possibly fifth in the conference, maybe fourth, but I don't think I believe Colby won the head-to-head between two teams. So Owen-Withee looks to be 5th in the conference. And they look to face McDonell or Thorpe, depending on how those games go. Again, those games are on Tuesday, October 12th. And that is the final conference match before playoffs happen the following week. And as we have raffle baskets getting called out here for our Dig for the Cure night, we will bid you adieu for now. Blackhawk fans, we are hoping we will have our football game on Saturday live streamed. We're hoping to get that all set up and finalized tomorrow for our Wi-Fi. And I hope to be with you on Saturday for our homecoming game. It's going to be a little complicated because I have to direct the band and get up to the box to do the stream. So do bear with me, Blackhawk fans, if you are tuning in for the game. We'll try and let you know on the Owen-Withee Athletic Department page on Facebook if we are going to be officially live for that game. With that, everybody, I thank you for joining us tonight, and go Blackhawks.